We are on, we are live. So my name is Jazz Martin. I'm here today with Reagan Denton. We're both Yorkshire lads. I'll just say a little bit about how we met. I was doing a master's. I started last year at Sheffield Hallam University, a master's in filmmaking. And I was doing some filming down at the Engel gym. And there was a spar going on between Bradley Goldsmith and Red Johnson. And Bradley Goldsmith is looked after by Dominic Engel, and Red Johnson is looked after by Red Johnson is looked after by Reagan Denton. And we got talking that day, didn't we, Regan? And
yeah, man. We fell in love at first sight, didn't we? You winked at me, I winked at you. Dude, that got a bit of bromance going on.
There was.
And then, never been out of my life since.
That's it, mate. That's it. It's
yeah, man.
Things, isn't it?
Hey, just before I go off track, Bradley's boxing tonight, so just give Bradley a shout out. Goldsmith, he's fighting Bradley tonight.
Okay, yeah. So
BT Sport or Dazzle, one or two, but I'll be tuned in.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Good fighter and a good lad as well.
Lovely lad. Lovely lad. Like a lot of people in boxing, grounds you don't. You've got to be a grounded guy to be into boxing because you'll get found out. And it's hard commitment in it and dedication. What's the key to pull us through there? So you can't be my training. So he said to me, you can't be boozing and cruising because you've got to be fit. You've got to be fast because you're not going to last. And you can't be an idiot or a fool because you've got to sell tickets. You've got to be a good guy because if not, you're not going to sell the ticket. But then it's true, isn't it? It's true. But then you get them other what people come to see because they hate to see to sell tickets. People pay tickets to watch them to get beat. So they've all been through that.
This is it, and this is life, innit? And that's why we connected because we have a similar energy, similar background, gone through some stuff, been about, we've had his highs, we've had his lows, we've been around a lot of different people, with good energy, people with bad energy, people with a lot of materialistic things, people with not a lot of materialistic things. And I said to you, well, it was easy because it's funny, innit? The eyes never lie when you meet someone, energy or whatever, and we connected. And we've always had this thing like, you want to help people, I want to help people. And we said, as well as documenting the hood, your gym's story, we just wanted to start documenting our interactions. We've had a lot of interactions where we're like, hey, other people should hear this, or wish we could, influence others. So I thought, why not?
Sorry to stop you, but can you hear them dogs fighting in the background, or is it all right? Because dogs are doing a few rounds in back.
It's all right. It's ambience. It's ambience. We're keeping it real. Yeah. We're keeping it. They're letting us know that we're in the hood.
That's it, man. To let you know. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You're right. The eyes never lie, like I said. That's how we might, because we know we've been about. We could tell similar stories. We've had us ups and us lows. And we've seen it, like Brendan used to say, God bless him, I've seen it all before. And like I said, I'm in my 40s now. I know you're only in your 20s, but you've been about a bit.
Come on, man. Come on. Lad. So listen, today, I just wanted to talk about you a little bit. I wanted to let everyone know about, I think personally, you are British boxing's best kept secret. I think people will be watching this interaction, this interview one day in years to come, and I think you're gonna be the next Brendan Engel. I believe you have that potential. It's all there for you, because you don't just give advice. You give your experience, and you've got a hell of a lot of experience. You, like Mr. Sykes says, Paul Sykes, you've been there, you've been about, you've gone and had a look. And you're speaking from experience. So I want people to find out who Reagan Denton is. So tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us about what it was like. You're a Yorkshire lad. And for those that don't know you, tell them who you are.
Who am I?
Where did it all start for Reagan? Where were you born? Where were you bred? Who's your family? What was it all about?
Well, I'm a Yorkshire lad. born and bred. Strong in arm and good in bed. I'm a Yorkshire lad, and I come from a big council estate. My family was always work. My granddads were steel workers in war and that. Champion pigeon flyer, my granddad, give him a shout out, Harold Denton. He was first man in 50s to win a motorcar pigeon racing. He won, he used to get the pigeon and take it to France and let the pigeon go out, and so many thousands of pigeons. My granddad's pigeon come home 3 times first from France, and like so many 100,000 pigeons. Anyway, through that, he won a motorcar. He was a legend. He is a legend, Harold Denton and his brother, Leonard Denton. So we were known back then in day because pigeon racing were massive, weren't it? And they were working class people, and they were from Attercliffe Estate, where Rolling Mills were. And my dad then, he was a bit of a troubled lad himself. And then he met my mum, who was an absolutely diamond, a lovely woman. She met him.
Isn't it amazing, Regan? For those that don't know who are just watching this, Reagan Denton, you were a lad. You were born into a family, what they would term as a working class family who dabbled in, should we say, in a little bit of a crime. You got into boxing. You were around people like Lennox Lewis, Prince Naseem. You became you became around that world championship mentality. You got the women, you got the fame, you got the adulation. You got mixed up in the wrong people. You ended up going to prison. You came out. You won a fight that you never should have won, and then you found yourself in that precipice. Like, what should I do? And you turned your life into helping all these people in the community. It's been a massive journey. And what I love is, isn't it amazing, this pigeon flying? This is like synonymous with fighters. You see Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson loved pigeon fighting. Why do you think that is? Your family?
I ain't got a clue. I don't know. Like I say, I've always had that connection. Like I said, I don't know.
With animals, you love your dogs, you love your chickens.
Yeah.
There's something about that animalistic nature, in it, in touch
with
your
think it's, nature, as you said, human nature. You say human nature, animal nature. Nature's the world, isn't it? I think that's where it all went a bit wrong, when it got a bit too fast and too furious. As you said, when they were there, out through this, when it got the money, the fast cars, the women, that's when then it all went wrong.
It's like that story about George Best, isn't it? When he's laying on bed with like 3 other women and all this money on, he'd just been gambling. He won a load of money, got his booze, and like the bellboy or whatever said to him, George, where did it all go wrong? And George was like, what you on about?
I know, yeah. Listen, I will lucky. I was lucky. I was very, very lucky. We're a lucky family, and you make your own luck and all, don't you? Like my granddad, hard-working people. Let's go back for when he said there were steel workers, did this. Pigeon flying, there's a lot of dedication. You see, if you see pigeons more than you do your wife, you know what I mean? You spend more time with your pigeons than you do with your kids. And it's mad, isn't it, how these boats used to put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into these pigeons, day and night, started flying them from different parts of the city, and then putting bets on them and winning certificates and trophies, getting pride and promise from it, and people knowing each other, bringing a community. And then, like I said, winning some overseas, and you mingling with people overseas. So me and my granddad were like the heavyweight champion of pigeon flying. You know what I mean? He did a lot. And like I said, my dad, he's a grafter, my mum's a grafter, and then they had me, and come from a good background, hard background, plenty of trouble, plenty of love and all, you know what I mean? Plenty of heartache, but plenty of love. And look, I couldn't engage in school. I always grafted. I always would have worked in my son. I always wanted to be in the army when I was a kid. And then I watched Rocky. We all watch Rocky movies. We all love Rocky, don't we? Growing up, and Rambo and all that. Like, it was my inspiration. And then Muhammad Ali, the boxers, the fighters. I weren't really a fighter. by our lover, you know what I mean? I was brought up by my nanans, my aunties, my cousins. I was surrounded by women, good women. That's what's saying about my mum. I'd rather run to them. So the lads' side, we were always fighting and always arguing. And they were manly men, do you know what I mean? It were easy on the other side with thing. So they used to put me in fights. They used to put me in fights.
I was gonna say that was what I was gonna say, because
You used to match fights up where I was from. They said my lad against your lad, or this or that, or a bit of dispute, go and sort him out, let's meet up, let's sort it. And I wasn't really into it, because I come from a violent background. I didn't like it. You know what I mean? They were always fighting, they were always arguing. But it come to be annoyance, because then people were calling me down, saying like my brother and that, oh, you that old word, horrible word, you say you're yellow, you know, guts and that and other. So I joined the boxing gym at Manor, and it was rough as out, run by an alcoholic guy, Billy Rowan, God love him, he's not here now, and Chris Ramsden. And it was just an old up with an asbestos roof, well, bowling green, and it was the old bowling green up, and it had 6 bags up, a ring what were all smashed up, no canvas, ropes were just hanging down on the floor. There was no point. Every corners were like, and it were freezing. It winter, gloves used to be froze up like ice, old gloves, and it was just hard as nails, and I stuck with it. And then I had my first fight at Manor Top, and all my mates with you, all my family with you, and that's probably when my life changed, because I was terrified, but I kept practicing. I kept believing, believe. I was praying from it, promising it, practicing it. Anyway, I run out, fought this kid, I always remember it. There was a kid from Barnsley, and he had a tattoo and a panther on his arm, and I was only 13. And I'm like, wow, he's got a tattoo on his arm. And he was bigger.
Boxing gloves kind of fight, or just
boxing gloves. Sorry, it was boxing match, my first boxing match.
Yeah.
And
I know you told me before you used to have fights on the street as well, didn't you?
That's what I did. I used to have plenty of fights on the streets. But like I say, a lot of kids used to get money because they were dirty fighters. I can remember once a kid, I thought we were going to have a fist fight, and his head butted me in the nose and then pushed me over a fence. And I always seem to get second hand at stick. And this kid once at school, my mum's an hairdresser, lovely woman, she permed my hair and had curly hair. And,
mate, I had a perm. I had a perm when I was 11.
Well, that's it.
Birds of
I
a
had
feather,
this perm, and all lads were jealous, and all lasses like me and that. And next mate, I had this, when I met this nice hot girl at school, what everybody fancied, Tina Siddle, and she was in higher grade than me, and we were friends and getting on. And then this kid come over, Terence Brand, who's now one of my best mates, one of my good mates, started causing trouble and calling her names, calling me names. So they said, what are you going to do about it? And this kid left, and then he says, well, I'm going to, because macho-ness, we're going to have a fight then, aren't we? And I was gutted. He was a tough kid, this kid. He was smoking at school at 30. He was just a nutter, you know what I mean? He just had no rules. And I knocked on his door. Well, mad, I was terrified. I would come out here now, because the crowd egged me on. And he come out and grabbed me and he beat me up and put me in bush. And I was gutted. And I said, I'd never go to school again. I shaved my hair off. And I went back to school. My family said, listen, if you don't, I shaved my hair off, and he sent me back to school. Said, if you don't beat him, we're going to beat you. Anyway, I went to school again, and we had another pop. I was going downstairs. He was coming up. And as I seen him, I started going down on him, but he grabbed my rucksack and swung me with my rucksack. Rucksack come round my arms. I was like a pterodactyl. I was trying to throw shots, and I couldn't throw no shots. I got whooped again, and everyone were laughing at me. Head teacher was there, and I can remember at the time I must have been about 13 or something, and my chin was wobbling in front of school. Chin wobble. I've got heartbroken. But then I started boxing. I had my first fight then a few months after, and I fought, and I put everything into that fight, thinking of him. And anyway, I ran out to this kid. There were hundreds of people there. And I stopped him in first round. The kid, my first boxing fight.
This is the Barnsley kid with the tattoo.
Barnsley kid with tattoo. So then I'm walking home then from gym again. I'm walking through park. The girl who was there who was ashamed myself up in front of her. The lads were there. Terence Brand were there. And I sees him up top, and he runs up to me again to torment me. So this time I chucked my bag on the floor. I says, come on then. And he just come over to me, I just give him a 1-2, bang, bang. Got him on end of the nose. He didn't know what was happening. And then I was giving him a few body shots, and he run off. Next minute, that's how I got the respect on our estate then. People respected me. And then I boxed, and no one would pick on me again. And
if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Try again, and that's what I did. I got there, I finally got there, and I showed them I could do it, and then people believed I could do it. So then, like I said, I did it in my first fight first, and then I beat the bully on the street, so it gave me a lot of respect. And I kept on boxing, saying, kept me humble, kept it in gym. I had 3 fights for Manor Boys, and then I met Glyn Rhodes downtown. He was working on doors with my brother at Howard Pub in near train station. You know where that is, don't you? Mm. Train station in town, Sheffield town.
It is, Regan, we could talk all day. We'd have to talk for about 10 hours, 20 hours to get all your story and every little bit and every nook.
Yeah. Well, it's coming, isn't it? It's coming now. People are going to start hearing it and hearing it more. And like I said, I'm 44 now. I've been at this game. I've been through a lot, and I've been at 44 years of life, stories, and like I said, I've been hired. Sorry, that's our last in background. Our lady.
No, Laura's not going to be that way.
She knows I love her.
It's for everyone. Laura's out right now. That's not Laura. She's just gone out to do some shopping.
Hey, she knows I love her. And listen, mate, I'm expecting again, Jazzhead, little Carmela's on way 3 weeks ago. Let's give her a shout out.
Believable, mate. You're going to be a dad again.
Dad again. I was granddad last month to twins, thank God. And now I'm a dad, so I'm back in driving seat. Still got it.
Life is in session. We said today we were going to have a chat. We were going to rock and roll with this first one. We were going to get it going.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, and we'll see what people say when they watch this, and maybe they'll have some questions for you.
Yeah. Well, as you said, that's the start. The start of get to the point where I had a good amateur career. I met Glyn. There's big stories how I met him. He was a doorman. I met him I was in a pinch car at the time, and I met Glyn for the first time. I was a rebel. I started hanging about with these interested kids from this ghetto, and these were interested in what I met round the boxing gym. So getting the street cred and that, obviously, because you're getting to know people and getting to prove things in life. And it was good then. Went from Glyn, he put me in championships, and on my 5th fight, I'm boxing for national title, never been heard for. That's all national boys. It was a big jump to put me in, but he believed in me because I was used to spar with Richie Wenton, he's lightweight champion. He was British champion, Richie Wenton, and fought Brera for world title. So I'm mixing in that type of mix, and I even went over with Richie to Caesar's Palace, and he fought Brera now at Spit Bucket Boy, and sparring partner. Dream come true. So,
two things I want to ask you about, because I know I've got something I want to ask you about that I already know about. But I just wanted to say, one thing that you were saying earlier was you were talking about fear. I think a lot of people, when they see people like you and they see fighters, they think these guys are born fearless and they're just hard men and they're not scared of anything. But what was amazing about your story and what you're just telling us there, that you freely admit you were a petrified, scared young lad who were getting bullied, who were getting picked on, and who were putting himself in situations to stick up for yourself, even when you were feeling that fear. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. They see someone like you and they think, God, he's never been scared of out in his life, that guy.
Yeah, true. But look at one lucky side. As I said, I met these people, like I had my mum, my nanans and that I go loved, I was looked after too. And then, like I said, when I even met old Chris at that boxing gym, it was an hard love. It's all hard love. And when I met Glyn, it was more, you know what I mean? He would have given me that love and support. I got kicked out of school, and he got me working with him and that. He got me doing something, because I'd have just end up in homes or in prison, in Bostals and that. He made me into something. He put my hands into something positive instead of me putting my hands into trouble. And like I say, I got a travel world, as we're saying, Richie, Barrera, I've met Lennox Lewis, I've met Prince Naseem, I've met Sugar Ray Leonard, I've Roy Jones, lived with Janet Jackson. I can go on and on, but that's for them to get later, isn't it? Because this is a start.
Kate Moss. Was it Kate Moss?
Yeah, forget about it. They'll have to, hey,
Forget about it.
They'll have to watch it.
That'll be episode 69. We'll put that one.
Yeah, don't go that far. But
second thing, like I say, and then
go on.
Second thing I'm going to ask you: was that the time you put your last 50 cents into a slot machine?
Yeah, that was right. Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that story when you went over with.
Well, I don't know if it was 50 cents. It was just a cent because I didn't understand coins because I only just landed over there. And I just, we landed at airport, and as you walk through airport, there's all these machines, just rows, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I walked up to one with this big Mustang on top, what you could win from Jackpot. So I just had this little nickel or whatever it were, and I just put it in the machine, get it a pull, and I won Jackpot. I won Jackpot. I won $13,000. So if it had been $1, I'd have won something like £250,000. Or it might have been more. I can remember. But yeah, it was just a thing. Anyway, I got something like 13 grand or something. I got $1,000, and that were in 90s. I was 16. Wow, that's how luck changed. You know what I mean? Again. And then I'm sparring with Richie Wenton, the British champion, and he's fighting Brera. And you've got these people from, like, they were Bert Sugar, he was Ringside Magazine, right? Oh, do you know what I mean? I'm mixing with all these people. Tom Jones with there, he comes in, fan of boxing, and I'm like, wow. And all the champions, Barrera, Morales, they're just, Danny Romero, all the top class fighters that I'm the kid from the streets, all in trouble. And boxing gave me that chance. Next minute, I'm there with these guys here. And then, I signed a professional contract few years later. But what it happened to me, see, I got took top before I earned it. I only had 12 amateur fights. I didn't have I had a lot of sparring, but I needed more conditioning of being a fighter where I never lost. I only lost one. But I fought a lot. But I needed bringing on more. And it's not that I could have been brought on more, but that's where it went wrong. As we said before, the bright lights, it made me softer. Everyone let me through. I'd rather just spar than fight. It was easy. I was eating lobster and, you know what I mean, eating cake and every night, because I was just a sparring partner. And I'm here these major camps in Miami, Vegas, Atlantic City, riding about in these cars. Even Glyn fell out with me then. I went, look at you can just come and drive in Miss Daisy, because I'm driving these Bentleys and big cars, driving Nazarbacs. He got banned, and now he's driver. He says, they're not yours. You'll go. That's it. They're not yours. You're not earning nothing. I run these tailcoats to these other people, but I had a damn good time. And I did, wheels did fall off. I ended up the rock star life, drinking at 28 and trying the interesting things. And then, like I said, we all want to be rock and roll, don't we? And I lived that life of going out, enjoying myself, the women, the fast cars. And before I know it, I had a good few years at that. And then guess what? I woke up in prison. I was like, what the? Where? And I got 2.5 years for criminal damage, and I had, because my old record caught with me. They made an example of me. They put me in dock, and this is Reagan Denton's here, former professional boxer, kid who's done this. He's come from that, and the judge just looked at me, no mercy. He says, well, you should know better, Mr. Denton, shouldn't you? Boom. Let him sit down for a bit. But it wasn't the best thing, so it grounded me, because that's all bullshit. Anyway, all that what we're on about, it's all fake, it's all phony. It's not gonna be there to look after you when times get hard. You know what I mean? And that's what just shows them material things can just leave like that. And it made me then going out and drinking, because that it was just all, what can you say?
Well, you know what I'm just thinking about here? If we fast forward now, and this is what we can do, like we can look at things in the past, in the present, you know, what could happen in the future. But right now, you're a coach, you're coaching people. There's so much you can give these young people.
Definitely, the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come. As
you went through,
as it did with me. Do you know one reporter will report him and he says, let's say your career started when you finished. Because I were on everyone's tailcoat, this kid who knows about boxing, and he know me, and he were a boxer himself, but your career started now when you finished knocking about with all or big pegs, because it weren't mine. They were just taking me for a ride, and I enjoyed the ride. And then I should have got more. We could have selfish to myself, but no, it's time for me to concentrate on my career. I'm going to be in bed early. I'm not going to eat this and da 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 da. But I was living the dream I thought at the time, because it was nice having a Ferrari or a Bentley or a kid off the estate. It was nice having giving your mum and dad money and having nice things and having nice meals. It was nice. What's wrong with liking nice stuff? But we just manifest, don't we?
We do. And, you know, you mentioned earlier about Brendan Engel and his famous quote when he talked about Prince Naseem or these boxers that come and go. And like Brendan would say, we've seen it all before. And you've seen it all before. There's not many fighters now, young fighters, that you're going to look after that can't tell you how to butter your bread. Do you know what I mean? Or tell you how to tie your own laces, because you're going to say, listen, I used to knock about with Lennox Lewis when he was heavyweight champion at World. I knocked about with Prince Naseem when he was making most money in the world as a boxer. I've seen it all. I've been around all the backslappers, all the yes men.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned them, not the ice hockey. And what you missed is the bottom, the guys with the ear to the ground, the crooks and the criminals, the addicts, the what do you call the dysfunctional ones, what people say, the prisoners, the probation, the drug addicts. And that's what we're doing now. I'm sweeping streets. I'm giving them drug addicts and them criminals and them a voice and what can you say? A chance to get out and change your life, because I'm living proof, but it can happen. I've been down that road and I've been through it, and I didn't just get out of it. I got my career back. It didn't all end bad, did it? I come back, I won. I had 7 fights win. I got offered a title, and then I bowed out because I met these kids on my front, smashing things up, younger version of me. And I went out to these kids one day and had a word with them, and it changed an all new estate's lifestyle around, and it no new generation. Where more single parent areas, where there were no mums and dads, disciplined dads and that broken families. Now, because the hood's been here, I know we're going a bit fast, but sorting out on that park. From that park, the park didn't get smashed up. Then the pub outside, you put us in the pub didn't get smashed up. Then the big school where the kids won't go to school, they asked me to go in the school, the firemen, the police, the MPs, politicians, go up there and do whatever you do, because it's great. And crime and fire's dropped, as you see on park. That's why it all started. The police come on, the fire service, the probation man, scratching his head, thinking, why is crime and fire dropped in this park? They're not smashing up, or we aren't getting call out for fire brigade, and we're not getting police up here. What's going on? And he heard it with his kid. He tells me now, it's this dodgy kid, ex-boxer, Reagan Denton. And we'll laugh about it now, because that officer, chief of fire service, now is in my committee. How good's that?
For those that don't know about Manthorpe, this is a really rough area in Yorkshire, in the city of Sheffield. This is where you grew up, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where you were based. And you found yourself in this situation where, for one reason or another, and I've said this to you before, it's almost biblical. You know, all these saints in the Bible, they all used to be lunatics before they were a saint. They'd all been around killing people, raping people, pillaging, God knows what they were doing. And then they turn into saints. And it's funny, on the same patch that you were doing all these shenanigans that maybe we'll talk about one day, but I want to try and touch on a lot of things today in this first 45-minute chat. Yeah. But on this same patch that you were doing all these naughty little things, now you're clearing it all up. Like you just said, crimes dropped, fires have dropped.
Yeah.
You've got these people that used to be trying to stop you existing. Now they're on your side. They're actually they're giving you help. They're giving you aid.
Yeah, man.
It's unbelievable. You couldn't write it. I think if people wrote your story, they won't believe it.
Yeah, it's a good story, isn't it? I just say we're on about Rocky stories. I've always said it. It's really good, but that's fiction. This is real life. And like I said, now one man who wants negative, and they say it says it on news of like news coming up, and oh, you're on news, local news. It says Manor was one of the most negative, but now it's one of the most positive. Because from us being here now, like you see, they're building houses on that old land, what they used to burn cars on, what's bringing money into the city and workers from other countries and other areas, what's making it a better area because bills are getting paid, there's jobs in area, there's more revenue. So what it is, it's like re-altering an old rough estate to something a bit more active in the more positive way. Like I said, now where we are, we were burning cars and houses where there's houses and families, lovely new people I've met around the world. So it's getting more integration. Like I said, because there's a lot of African families, Polish, Arabic, but like I said, lovely people, and it's integrated them into Manor. Because Manor were, like I said, we're an old pit village. So, and it's now, it's revolving next generation, bringing people together, as it's brought the all Torags together, we'll give them something to do, and now it's bringing an all new estate together, as now we look after building the houses, the bigger major companies like Keepmore, Energy, Costa Coffee, McDonald's, all that, they use our signs and their backers because we're a charity. We don't get no big independent grants. It's just built by the people, for the people. They're backing us to back them, and it's a success. Like I said, there's more jobs, more people, healthier people, happier people, and it's like I said, bringing that big integration together. It's great for that the hood itself. Now we're in a big, massive Victorian school what's been here 150 years, and it's a beautiful place. And that's what we'll have to show on podcast probably later, stuff we're doing there and what we get up to. Yeah. And like I said, now from them kids, drop crime by half, 75%. There's no shootings and stabbings on here. 38 amateurs. We've got a professional now, Red Johnson, is going to be the next sensation in Sheffield. He's the next sensation in Sheffield. He's just had his first professional fight. He's fighting again on 7th at Magnum, and he's going to be a star. He's going to do a star performance and show everybody. But he is the kid to be reckoned to. And the following is just getting bigger and bigger every day. Team Johnson, Joe's Johnson, is getting bigger every day. He's really catching everybody's eye because he's dedicated. He's been at it years. He's in there. He's one of them kids to look up to. I always said, you know what that is, don't you? They go, yeah, Red Johnson, and they look at him like with that clean living kid he is. You've met him, you send Jazz. You've done documentaries with him, and we'll get him on here.
You've had him since he was a kid, right? You've done the Brendan Engel style with him. You've had him since he's a little kid. You've known his dad.
I've known his dad. Also, I've known his mum, known his sister, known Red. He's always been welcome up at my gym. I've been come and supported him. You know what I mean? It's one of my best friends. Pete Johnson's one of my best, dearest friends. I think world of him. And I do his lad. It's simple. It's just how we are around here, isn't it? There's certain type of people. That's really love we've got. That's why I built this brotherhood, sisterhood, parenthood, the hood. Where we've all got that. We've all got we've got that lot of respect and love for each other, and we don't waste time with time wasters because proof's in pudding. We can sort it out in that square ring down there. And
if you steal from the hood, your nose bleeds.
That's what it says on the sign at top of the doors you walk in, doesn't it, pal?
That's what it says on the sign. I love that sign. Well, we said we were going to talk for 45 minutes. We've been talking for 35 minutes, and we're just going all about. And it's nice.
Whip it in now. You get your bit on. Whip it in.
I'm whipping it in.
You could know. Listen to chapter 1, chapter. This never end. This gift never stops giving. And now it's just the beginning, as you see, with the developments, the fighters, the people. Did a story upon story. Let's not think other side of it where a guy 35 years on drugs, he come and met the gym and now he's been 5 years clean. I got him sweeping him up, got him training, got him feeding him, giving him a bit of some clothes and that lot. The other rector, Mark Cater, was 48 stone. Doctors give him 12 months to live. Now he's lost 15 stone, got him sat on a chair in them bags. There's so many great stories. What this revolving gift keeps giving is unbelievable. It does need people to start.
you're a good lad, and you know, I can only speak from my experience. You know what I mean? You've been very hospitable with me, and you looked after me when I were in Sheffield, and you know, I've been going through my stuff and my you know, since COVID, everybody had a lot of difficulties. You've always looked after me, mate. So I can only say that from my
give you a few body
experience.
shots and all, and I brought you down a peg sometimes.
You know what I mean? It's pecking order, isn't it?
Yeah, we all need each other's good souls.
Yeah, you do, and you know me. I think you look at me like that. Like you say, you probably see a little bit yourself in me. You probably want to knock that out.
Yeah, listen, you know, life's too short, innit? We've got to get on with it. Life's too short. So just like I said, you know, it's called tough love, innit? And that's what we do. It's tough round here.
Yeah, one thing where we were talking and we got talking, and I told you about, for me, where I've done acting, I've done writing, and I love storytelling and directing. But I think the good things about stories, and again, I don't know why, I'm not a religious person, but I do like going and looking at these things like the Gospels and stuff like that. I think they have a purpose. They teach you something. And I've always said, I've wanted to help people that have struggled with addiction and struggled with, you know, struggled with living. I think that was one thing that Brendan Engel used to do really well. He'd not only teach people about boxing.
Yeah, brilliant. That's a massive.
He'd teach people about values. He'd say, don't gamble. If you gamble, you can't concentrate. Don't drink. If you drink, you know, you might not on the job. He'd say, if one woman, you're going to have trouble enough with one woman. And he'd have them sleeping up outside. And
that's Italian. You sounded Italian then. You were Irish, not Italian.
I know, mate. I've got to, because I'm living here in Brazil.
You know, don't gamble. Don't get the bit of bikini on the bikini.
Dominic Ingalli.
Hey, you know, getting back to it's 100% making. I used to love what Brendan was saying. It's me hard in art, and this is what I other people are in art with. Making that person a better person, making that lad a better lad, making that mum a better mum, making that dad a better dad, making that school kid a better school kid, just making people a bit better people. And like I said, it is a bit about grounding, and it's a lot about grounding. Like I said, don't gamble, don't drink, don't smoke, don't, you know what I mean? Don't sleep about with no more than one woman, because it's. And as I've been through my saying, it's 100% true. Once I started doing all them above, I've done this, start winning with gamble. Don't worry, it beat me in end. It beat me in end. I would never got out in that bookies and do a heartbreak for years. Heartbreak with my friends, family, because I couldn't keep up the bills because I'm spending stupid money and doing stupid things, same as like drinking drugs. So 100%, and that's what you need to steer away from, is them up above, because they'll control you. They'll control you, and then your uncontrollable life. And we don't want that, do we?
No, it's funny. I'm just thinking here as you're talking, and I'm having this discovery as we're talking. I'm thinking I've been in a lot of 12-step meetings. I've been in thousands of meetings with my 12-step background, and the way that the 12-step format is, there's this process from step 1 to 12, and it's kind of a deflation of your ego. And all these things we're talking about, gambling, women, materialistic things, it pumps the ego up. And the ego is the worst enemy at all. It's like, that's why, you know what I mean?
It gets us into trouble,
Anthony Joshua, stay humble. Stay humble. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. You said it gets us into trouble as ego. It does it massively. And it's not that as well. When you've got ego with we're all sinners, aren't we? The flesh, we all want more. We all want more. As you see, Mark Cater, a lovely guy, but he can't stop eating. He can't stop eating stuff he shouldn't. You know what I mean? Even from him losing 15 stone, nice put another, I don't know, I dread to think it might be 7, it might be 8 stone back on, because he hasn't been training as much because his knee, and then because his knee, it's not going to affect for. I'm having the Chinese tonight and to this and other.
This is one of your friends that you helped who's got an issue with eating.
Yeah, maybe we get Mark on here on a podcast and all to say, but he's going to get his same better, because he's a very good mate. I've known Mark for many years, and I don't want him to go, like I say, he's getting up to 50 stone, and he's 60-year-old. Come on. So carrying all that weight, I don't want him to go. So like I say, he's got grandkids, he's got a wife, he's got kids himself. he'd be missed, Mark. He's a lovely, lovely man. He's a lovely, lovely man. So we'll give him some inspiration, Jazz, on here. This will be a good thing to watch. These guys, I have him on Facebook, and he's got following after following. Let's get him on here. Let's him say he's going to get back weighed him. I have to weigh him at the scrapyard because no scale's big enough. I have to drive him down the scrapyard, weigh him in there on a weigh bridge. And like I say, but he's gone off rails, and now we need to get him back on. So that'll be good enough. Something to look forward to.
And what just remind us, Red's got a fight October 7th. Did you say?
October 7th at Magnum. It's going to be on Sky Sports. I think it's just Sky Sports. I don't know whatever, but we'll find out.
I'll put that in the description. I'll put the details.
Find out the details for the right details. I know it's at Magnum. It's on someone at Sky Channels. So yeah,
anyone who's watching this and anyone who's listening in today, if you've got any questions for Regan, for myself, for us, or where you'd like this to go, or our next chat, we're going to do a weekly 45-minute chat, and send them in, and we'll get them answered. Regan, we've got like 4 minutes to go. Is there anything?
Wow.
Is there any? Well, and we've been talking for 41 minutes.
Yeah, listen, hey, you're on field with dogs and you phone me up, said you fancy doing one, so I've run in and bash, we've done it. So hey, it was good, weren't it? Come unexpected, but I'm glad we've done it because we've been talking about doing it, and now let's keep doing it every week. Just want to say just to people, I don't know, let's
tell us about the Hood Gym in Manthorpe now. The Hood Gym, it's there, it's open to people.
Yeah, the Hood Gym,
general public can come, can't they? That you have training sessions for general public.
Yeah,
we have amateurs. You've got a lot of amateurs there. If people are wanting to get involved in boxing, if they've got kids that want to get involved in boxing that are maybe going through troubles, adults that are going through some troubles,
just come and see us if you want even a cup of tea. You come and see us, man. We've got everything going off recovery.
On Saturdays, you have cups of tea.
Nat and Knitter Club where all girls aren't there who's lost her husband, they get out, they have a natter and a nat and knitter, cup of tea, cake, the thing. We've got a charity shop, we've got a recovery centre, we've got a local cafe, we've got judo, cage fighting, MMA, and then we've got the boxing, got the hood itself. So yeah,
unbelievable.
Yes. So looking, can you see me? Because I've gone because I've got a cold.
Oh, he's gone now. Well, that was it, folks. I think Regan's gone. Perfect timing. But we smashed it. That is episode 1. The best way to start something is to begin. And on that note, we are ending it. See you next time. Ciao.